I'm your host, Kelly Morgan, indie author and indie publisher. Welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. Welcome to today's episode. Hey, you guys, Kelly here. Welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. Okay, so check this out. You've written a book, especially one that feels kind of cinematic, right? And then somebody says, man, I could totally see this as a movie, right? And you're thinking, huh, maybe this book could be a movie. And then you start kind of wondering, well, what would that be like? Well, it got me wondering because I've had more than somebody tell me, you know what, Kelly, You Sound White would be a great book. I'm like, I wonder what that process would look like. Because I'm positive writing a book and writing a screenplay, same stadium? Absolutely. But I believe it to be an absolutely different sport. You know, writing a book gives you room, right? You get to unpack emotions and memories and inner thoughts and long arcs, and you get to build the scenery and all this stuff. But a screenplay, yeah, I think, from what I've been told and what I've read, because I've never written a screenplay before, but it lives in a tight visual world, right? There's action and there's dialogue, right? So there's not a lot of, I would imagine you're not describing a lot because you're showing it, right? And so that's completely different than writing. So let's just say I wanted to go ahead and get my book into a screenplay. Let's talk about what that would look like. Let me come to the rabbit hole, come down the rabbit hole with me. So, before we even start talking about pitching it, let's talk about writing the screenplay because I'm positive that is a whole process within itself. Now, I do know one thing. There is a very specific screenplay format, a real industry, standard layout, margin, spacing, scene headings, how dialogue sits on the page, all of that stuff matters. So it's not like you could just open up a Word doc and freestyle it. But the way my brain works, the minute that I hear there's a specific format, my next question is, okay, so how do I get it? Is there a template? Is there a layout so that you're not guessing? Is there programs that can help you? The answer is yes. There are templates, there are programs that handle all the formatting automatically. Some are free, some are paid, but the tools exist. All right. There's also screenwriting classes and writer groups and communities to help you polish your story. The same way that we edit and workshop our books, a screenplay needs structure, feedback, and revisions too. It's a whole craft all on its own. All right. So let's just say you've handled that part. You've adapted your book, you followed the format, and you actually have a screenplay in your hands. Now what? Well, just like if you had that book in your hand, you're going to have to pitch it, right? So how do you get the screenplay in front of anybody who will actually take it anywhere? Because I have seen ads saying, pitch your script to Netflix or, get your screenplay in front of producers. And so every time I see this, I'm like, is this real or is it just marketing? So I went down the rabbit hole because I'm curious. And here's what I've learned. Number one, no, you do not have to pay to pitch your screenplay. Not to Netflix, not to Hulu, not to Amazon. The legit industry does not charge writers to hear a pitch, but you do run into gatekeepers, agents, managers, and production companies that streamers actually trust. Most major platforms do not accept unsolicited scripts. So it's not like you can take your screenplay and just send it off to Netflix, right? So the choke point isn't money, it's access, right? So then I started wondering, well, how do some of these movies get made? Because I've seen some movies like on Tubi, and I'm thinking, who signed off on this, right? Especially when I look at like Tubi or Roku, like they're always releasing new films. And here's the thing. A lot of those movies I found come from independent or micro budget film companies. And so they're not pitching to Netflix. They're not going through the big studios. They're making films on their own, and then they're selling the finished movie to platforms like Tubi, Roku, Pluto, Freevee, BET Plus. There's one called All Black, Zeus, Urban Flicks, and there's a bunch of other niche and independent streamers out there. And that's not even counting the people who just simply release their work on YouTube or if you can even have your own Roku channel. So the traditional Hollywood gatekeepers, they're not your only road anymore. It just seems to me there's a wide indie pipeline of how you can actually get your screenplay made into a movie and then that movie actually seen. Now, granted, it's going to take some work. So here's another thing that gets tossed around, and that's optioned. And I've heard this. My screenplay got optioned today, but it doesn't mean sold. An option means that, whoever options it, they have the exclusive right to get the film made. So they pay a fee to hold your script for a certain length of time. It's usually 6 months to a year. And in that time, they will pitch it. They will try to get actors. They'll talk to directors. They'll raise money. They'll get a studio or a streaming platform interested. And if they succeed, then they buy it. But if they don't, the option expires, the script goes back to you, and you start the process all over again. So an option is interest, it's momentum, but it's not a guarantee, right? And even if the film does get made, I found out it doesn't stop there. I have talked to many of an independent filmmaker who do the same thing that authors do. They submit their work to festivals. They are building buzz. They're out there sharing their work. They're trying to get eyes on their story. They're looking for distribution. They're creating with their own audience. They are really trying to get their work out into the world, right? Just like an author does with their book. So yes, this whole thing is a process from the writing of the screenplay to the formatting, to the pitching, to the selling, to the marketing. It's a lot. But here's something I think that authors that we understand extremely well. Writing a book usually takes some investment, right? You might have to hire an editor. You might pay somebody for the cover. You might invest in the formatting or the marketing. Screenwriting has its own version of that, right? You might pay for somebody to give you feedback on your script. You might enter it into contest. You might take a class. You might invest in a screenwriting program. And you might submit to festivals or indie pitch sessions, which a lot of them you have to pay an entry fee to. You don't have to do everything, but what I'm saying is that there are costs involved in developing a strong script and getting it out there. Same idea with your book. You know what? You're creating something, you're polishing it, and then you're trying to share it with the world. Most creative lanes require some type of investment. And then here's the last thing that I'll say, because this really kind of brought it all home for me. If you actually do take your book, turn it into a screenplay, and you get that screenplay actually made into a film, the chances of it actually getting seen today are bigger, more than ever before, because you don't need a major studio anymore. You don't need a Hollywood connection. You don't need somebody to pick you. There are streaming platforms, independent networks, niche channels, micro streamers, YouTube, TikTok, and the door has been even wider for storytellers. And you know what? And that's something to think about. It's doable. It's doable to take that book, turn it into a screenplay, and turn it into film. It's not going to be easy, but it is doable. You're going to have to put some intention behind it. You're going to have to put some work behind it, and you're probably going to have to invest. But if you're serious, it could turn into a reality. same stadium, like I said, different sport. And the game has never been more open than it is right now. So, if you are thinking about taking that book and turning it into a screenplay, I say go for it. I mean, the playing field is wide open. All right, let me do my laundry list of things. So, if you are an author and you're interested in, I don't know why I keep saying that. If you are a creative in this space and you are interested in sharing this space with me, go to my website, go to the Be a Guest tab, fill out the information, you're a guest. If you are a writer and you're starting your writing journey, you want some good, solid information, I got you. I got a free guide on my website. It's called So You Want to Write a Book, not read a book. So You Want to Write a Book. Um, Download it. It's free. Start your journey. Your words matter. If you're interested in supporting me, I've got two books out there. One's called Wait for It, which is also an audiobook. You can listen to a snippet on the website. The other one is called You Sound White. Both of them available from me. Happy to sign them, ship them. I've got some free goodies. I'll ship them free of charge. But you know what? You can get them wherever good books are sold. No pressure. And if you are a author, you can pitch our book club. It's called the IRS, the Indie Reader Society. Information's on the website. I think it's under the More tab. If you are a reader, oh my God, we would love to have you join us. I would love to see this book club just grow beyond my imagination. So that's why I call it out every time. It's free to join, don't cost you nothing. All we do is support indie authors. We would love to have your voice. Okay, you guys, this has been another episode of the Author's Mic. Seriously, I just was curious of like what it would take me to take my book from a book to a screenplay. So I thought, you know what? I'll just share the information with you with what I found. I hope it was informational for you. If it's something that you're considering, it's very doable. Gonna have to put some work behind it, but it's very doable. All right, you guys, I will catch you next time. Keep writing and go out and make it a great day because I know I'm going to. All right, catch you next time.